when you get out of the habit of making content, sometimes it's tough to get back into it. I feel like I talk about this a lot in my videos. I haven't been able to stay consistent with some of these book reviews that I've been wanting to give you guys, but that's not an excuse to not make content today. I was just sitting in a coffee shop. It feels like 8 to 10 degrees outside, and I felt inspired to come make a video. Currently, and this has nothing to do with the video, I am reading Yearbook by Seth Rogen. I'm actually bringing this up. This actually does have to do with the video. I'm bringing this up because moving forward, if I can consistently do these, I'll let you guys know what I'm reading, and then maybe you guys can read it, maybe you can't, maybe we could discuss it sometime on a live or something, but maybe you can finish a book or be on pace to finish a book about the time I'm gonna finish it, because I love discussing a book. Today, just to get to the book, I'll be talking about God Level Knowledge Darts, Life Lessons from the Bronx by Desus and Mero. If you guys don't know who Desus and Mero are, or yeah, not were, they're still people, but how they used to have a show. They had a show that was on Showtime. Before that, it was on something else, and then before that it was on Vice. I found them on Vice when I was in college, and that was the version of the show I liked the most, as well as they had a podcast called named Bodega Boys, and they've continued to do other things. I saw Desus is on The Daily Show, I believe, a little bit now, and Mero, he still has a career. These guys are hilarious, and I missed the show. If any of you guys watched the show, especially the version of the show back in like 2015, no later, 2017, something like that, it was such a good show, such organic content, the type of content that I like to watch. Sorry if I'm kind of licking my lips a little bit sometimes. Like I said, I just left like 8 degrees. I'm trying to stay hydrated, but it's been chapping the hell out of my lips. I'm not gonna lie. How I read it, obviously, is a physical book, no audio book here, no e-reader here right now. I do listen to audiobooks, and I do read books on my phone and stuff like that every now and then, but typically I'm somebody to read a physical book, and then I'm going to get into my main takeaways. But for now, let me take a hit of this Airizer. We relax, let's go. My first main takeaway from this book is that books can be really funny. Most books really aren't. Most books, even if they have humor intertwined and stuff like that, there are some books where I will out loud laugh, and there are some books, most books aren't the case, even if they're kind of funny, because a lot of funny can come from interesting. It doesn't have to come from actually laughing. This is one of those books that was actually funny. These guys wrote this book, I believe, a lot of it verbally, they spoke it and then it just got put down into text. That's at least what it seems like, and I think that's how they did it. They made it super conversational. They went back and forth, and I don't know if I'll be able to show this too clearly, but when Mero's talking, everything is in capital letters because evidently he yells, or he says he yells. So things were very, very organic. Things were very down to earth with how the book was written. Sometimes, even in my own writing, I feel like the word choice and stuff like that isn't how I'd actually talk, and they do a good job in this God Level Knowledge Dart of keeping the book keeping it familiar to the Desus and Mero fan base, the people who know them, the people who have watched their content in the past, the people who have seen them on TV. It didn't stray away from what you'd expect that they'd put out. Another main takeaway, things change so quickly, so enjoy that shit. When they were writing this book, they were doing well with their show together. They were close friends, they were close business partners, and then like that, we heard that Desus and Mero canceled. I saw them on heard them on Kevin Hart's podcast. They've been doing stand-up. They released this book. Things were going so well for the brand, as they like to put it, and then things kind of just diminished so quickly. So that's another takeaway I got from the book. That's not really from in between the binds of the book, but it's something I took away from reading it. Appreciate what you have while you have it. Appreciate the people, appreciate the relationships that you have in your life while you have them, because they can so quickly change. Also, I took away that and this kind of relates to my first point, is that it seemed like they had fun writing the book. Sometimes I try to write, like I said, and it can be difficult to get stuff out. It seemed effortless. It seems like they were really having fun. It seemed like their normal organic fun from their show, and I like that. The books sometimes can feel so rigid, I think, to people. They can feel too educational. It's a turnoff. For me, it's not, but for some people, too educational of information can be a turnoff. This is a book that was true, but actually entertaining as well. I know a lot of people think books are boring or reading is boring, whatever, but this book really proved that reading and stuff like that can truly be entertainment. It can be alternate to TV. Like, as fun and funny as TV can be, reading can match that, or books can match that. So another takeaway from the book. And next, I'm going to get into who's it for? Obviously, it's for Desus and Mero fans. If you enjoyed their show, if you enjoyed their podcast, you'll enjoy the discourse in this book. You'll enjoy how they go back and forth. You'll enjoy a lot of, like, the ridiculous shit that they write in the book. It'll be for you. You know, and people in my demographic who can relate to some of the stuff that they're saying, can relate to some of the stuff they live with, like the weed smoking, or kind of being in awe of some celebrities, how he talks shit, like all that type of stuff is in this book and can really hit home. So if that's something you'd be interested in, this book is definitely for you. It's for comedy fans. It is in some ways a roadmap for how these guys got big. Like, if you want to emulate or do something like Desus and Mero did in the podcast space, get on TV, stuff like that, reading this type of information is huge in that regard, in my opinion, simply because these people have done it. They've been successful. They've gotten to the top of this space, and they've done it in such a unique way. Like doing stand-up with them together, just going back and forth talking. That's not brand new, but it's also not super common, especially from people who don't have a stand-up comedy background. So with all that being said, they did things uniquely, they did it fun, and if you're a comedy fan, you're an aspiring comic, or you're just somebody who likes kind of reveling in comedy from afar, this book is another great book for you. If you go through my playlist of these books, many of them are going to be written by comedians. I just like reading funny stuff. I like reading funny stories. I like true stories, and that seems to gravitate me towards comedian written books. So if you like that type of book, if you like that type of reading, my channel is even going to be a good review channel for you, because I'm going to go through tons of books like that. Also, for young people, specifically young men, there's some decent advice scattered throughout. Some of it's BS, but it says life lessons from the Bronx. They put it in a funny way, but there are some actually reasonable tips on there, some stuff that can be listened to, some stuff that can be reasoned with. So I appreciate it for that. I got some tips for myself, and not really life advice, but definitely like career advice, definitely like creative advice, because these guys are creatives. I want to be a creative myself, so I pulled that away from the book. I appreciate those of you who stick with me. God level knowledge darts for you Desus and Mero fans, for you comedy fans, for people who just enjoy a good, funny, unique book. This is for you. I'll be coming out with some more book reviews. If you guys appreciate these or you like them, feel free to share it with somebody else if you think this book would be good for them, and feel free to hit the like button. I don't usually say all that stuff, but if you like the content, I tend to believe you'll come back. Guys, it's been another episode of GP's Library. I gotta get used to saying that again. Appreciate it, guys.